40 years back in November 1984, 4,006 were killed in Delhi, the capital of India. The genocide continued unabated for 3 days. Every minute, one Sikh was killed on the streets of Delhi. After the genocide, the guilty were given high positions and they were given the position of power. For 40 years, the victims are still waiting for justice. The cases for the justice to the victims are still continuing even now. I, H.S. Phoolka, a senior advocate, has been handling these cases right from number 1984 onwards. Through this video series, we have made an effort to bring to you how this massacre was planned. It's an effort to take you through the whole entire journey of this 14 years.
Thank you so much for joining us for today's episode. My name is Neetika Khaitan, and I am a lawyer pursuing a PhD in history at Yale University in the US. It is my pleasure today to be joined by senior advocate H.S. Phoolka, who has worked on cases related to the 1984 anti-Sikh pogrom since the very beginning. Thank you so much, Phoolka sir, for joining us. In the aftermath of Indira Gandhi's assassination on 31st October 1984, you yourself were present in Delhi, sir.
Yes.
Could you speak to us about what you witnessed and experienced in the next few days?
You see, first I'll tell you on 31st, what was the situation in Delhi on 31st itself. When the day started like a regular day, I dropped my wife to her office. This was in Raina, which is about 20 minutes from Connaught Place. And I went to the High Court around 11 o'clock. Everybody knew there. Normal work was going on, but around 11 o'clock, everybody knew that Mrs. Gandhi has been shot. And by about 11:30, everybody came to know that she is shot by the 6 security guards. So mostly the people were talking about this, and much work was not happening in court, but court was open. So around after lunchtime, I thought that I'll go and pick up my wife and we'll go home. So after lunch around 3:34, I reached my wife's office at Narayana. So I wanted to pick her up there, and the office was open. They told her that you can go by 5 o'clock and the office is working. So I went to the market, Narayana market, spent some time over there. Market was open. Everybody was little grieved that they were talking about this. But I didn't find anywhere anybody looking awkwardly towards Sikhs or anybody with hatred towards Sikhs. By that time, they knew it that she is killed by 6 security guards. But there was absolutely nothing, neither in the market, nor in the office, nor in the court. So 5 o'clock, I picked her up. We came to my office in Connaught Place. I had an office in Janpat in Connaught Place. So when we reached there, and my parent told me that 2 of my friends who were visiting from Punjab and they were staying with us, they told us that they have gone some time back, and they say they'll pick up the luggage and will go back to Punjab. So me and my wife, we discussed that it is not safe to go to Punjab because there may be some disturbance on the way. So Delhi is very safe. They should stay in Delhi. Earlier, there were some instances in Haryana when some Sikhs were harassed in the buses. So this is what we thought. We thought we'll go and stop them. They shouldn't go back. This was around 6:30 maybe in the evening. So we started our home. I used to live in South Extension area, and my normal route was to pass from Prithviraj Road, then Safdarjung Airport, then INA Market and Ames Crossing, and then go to South Extension. Now, that time, that was the area where the violence had started around 5 o'clock. So, the 6:30 when we left, around that time, the violence was going on in this area. So, we came on the motorcycle. I was on the Janpat crossing, Janpat and Rajpath crossing. Janpat and Rajpath crossing, when we came across the traffic light was red. So, the traffic was stopped there. In the normal days, I used to maneuver my motorcycle. I was on the motorcycle. I used to maneuver my motorcycle and stand in the front. And whenever it turns green, so that you speed up and avoid the traffic. But I don't know what happened. On that day, I stood at the tail end of the traffic. When the light turned green, the traffic started moving. From the other side, a car was coming and he indicated, Rukiye, Rukiye, Rukiye. So I stopped. I said, I told my wife, कोई जान पहचान वाले होंगे रोक रहे हैं हम. So we stopped. One gentleman, he was not a Sikh, maybe Hindu or I don't know what even. One gentleman came running to us. सरदार जी आगे मत जाइए, आगे वाले क्रॉसिंग पे सिखों को मार रहे हैं, यहां भाग सकते हो भाग जाओ. So he tells me, don't go ahead. On the next crossing, they are killing the Sikhs. Please go wherever you want, but don't go this side. So that was a big shock to us at that time. So I immediately said we will take different route. The other route we used to take is from India Gate and Khan Market, and then from Kotla side, Lodi Estate, and from Kotla Mubarakpur village, we used to enter South Extension from the back side. So I turned my motorcycle to on this route, and we passed through Kotla Mubarakpur village. Most of the traffic was diverted to this side. So there were too much of traffic on that road. We passed the Gurdwara. In front of the Gurdwara, we passed and we reached our home. This was by that time it was little dark. Our landlords were, I was on rent. Our landlord, they were a Punjabi Hindu family. Our landlord was standing outside and they said, how you have reached here? They said there is a violence going on all around the South Extension. How could you reach? I said, we came from the Kodla Warkmore. They said, from this side? I said, yes, teacher, look back. When we looked back, Gurdwara was on fire. The same Gurdwara which we crossed, that Gurdwara was on fire. The smoke was all over. And I do not know till today how I passed from that. Anyhow, when we were there, so we stayed at home. On first, all the news was coming. There's the violence happening here, violence happening there. On first, we didn't have a phone. The phone was very, very rare. It was a big luxury during those days. The telephone. Our landlord had telephone. So on 1st November, I called my uncle. He used to live in Barakamba Road. My uncle was a big landlord of Delhi and very powerful person. So I called him. I say, Uncle, our area is not safe. If you could send somebody, some force to get us out of here. So my uncle said, wherever you are, be there. Don't come out on the roads. Even we are not safe here. So you be inside. In fact, later on we came to know, after my phone call, the mob even attacked their house also. This is on Barakamba Road. His house was a huge house, 2-acre house in Barakamba. Now it's a big building, Narayan Manchil, multi-story building. So I stayed there only. When I came to Delhi, in fact, my uncle only brought me to Delhi. And I did my law from Chandigarh, and in 81, he asked me to come and practice in Delhi. And I stayed with him for 2 years in his Barakamba Road house. So the mob had attacked even their house also. But they had a servant quarters on the backside. There were 10, 12 servant quarters. And most of those servants were there since quite some time, many generations. So all those, their servants, their children, they all came out and stood on the gate and didn't allow the mob to get in. Inside. They said, no, we will not allow him. They said, Sardar Sahab nahi hai, wo chale gaye, hum nahi entrenge. That is how they survived. So there were at least 40, 50 of them. They all stood there. So on that day, we remained at home. Second day on 2nd November, when we were at home, we were on first floor. One stone came at our window pane. All of a sudden, and our window pane was broken. And then we hear the noise, Sardar hai, maro isko, yahan bhi Sardar hai. Our next house belonged to a Sikh transporter. He had recently constructed that house, a beautiful house, the most beautiful house in that area. So their main target was that house. So they were mainly throwing the stones at that house, and they also threw one stone here. This is the person who used to supply milk. He tells them, यहाँ भी एक सरदार रहता है. He told them that once Sikh lives here also on the first floor. So that's how they attacked our house. The next house to our house, they set it on fire. Then they started coming up to attack us. In the meantime, our landlord's elder son, he was living on second floor. He also had a beard. So he went on the rooftop and he filled the buckets with water and was throwing the water on the other house, next house. That his wife was a German lady. So she came and she told us, you leave, immediately leave, come to our house. So me and my wife, we had no time even to put on the shoes. Like that, we ran, and she took us to second floor. And in the second floor, in the loft, जो प्रशस्ति होती है रजाइयाँ रखने के लिए इतनी ऊंची normally. She put both of us in the loft, put some rajais and blankets in front of us, and locked it from outside. In the meantime, when we were going up, we could see mob coming up from the stairs. When they were coming up, they were coming up from the first floor stairs. We were climbing up on the second floor stairs. In the meantime, our landlord's son, who had beard, he came there to stop the mob. They caught him and they started beating him. They say, "Ye Sardar hai." Our landlady said, "Ye to mera beta hai, he's my son." Then the neighbors also came and he said, he is their son. So that's how they left him. जैसे बताओ हमें सरदार कहाँ है, वो कहता सरदार तो भाग गया, वो तो चले गए, वो तो कल ही चले गए, पंजाब चले गए, यहाँ पूछो जहाँ पे जो वो कल पंजाब चले गए लड़के. Those two of our friends. Okay, when we reached there, we asked them that where are our friends who were staying with us. They said they picked up the luggage, they have gone. So they say yesterday they picked up the luggage, have gone, they have gone all together. So that is how we were saved. In the meantime, the house which were the transporter's house, which was set on fire, next to that was a garment factory. That garment factory owner was a Hindu. He got scared that his garment factory will catch fire. So he somehow managed to bring a truck of army to extinguish this fire. The army truck came when we were going to second floor. We also saw from the back door of our house, the Sikh transporter's family, he and his children were also entering our landlord's house. So that Sikh transporter's family, he and his family, our landlord kept them on the ground floor and locked them inside the store. We were locked on the second floor inside that locked. So when the army truck came, so they told us, now you go out. The army truck started moving. When they stopped the army truck, that they are coming, you stop. My wife was pregnant at that time. My daughter was expected. She was born in April, 85. So my wife had almost 4 5 months pregnancy, and I was worried about her, and she was worried about me. So we came out, we came down, and tried to jump on the army truck. My since she was pregnant, she couldn't. But one thing I saw over there, next to the truck, one Sikh army man was standing. I could see fire in his eyes. And if somebody allows him, he will probably not leave any of the rioters who were standing at a distance. There was fire in his eyes. We were making attempt to my wife to get into the truck. In the meantime, our landlord's younger son, he came out. He said it's not safe. His wife was also pregnant. He said we are shifting from the area, and he tells us you come in our car. So we get into their car. They moved out along with the army truck, and our landlord's daughter was a doctor. Her husband was also a doctor in All India Institute of Medical Sciences. So they were allotted a house in the All India Institute of Medical Sciences complex itself. So they went there. So we also went with them over there. When we reached there, those doctors got scared. They said, we are in danger. Our house will be attacked. I mean, this is what was happening. I won't say they were unnecessarily scared or it was not well founded. The mob was attacking the Hindu houses also, who had given the shelter to Sikhs. So they asked me to cut the hair. So I refused. I say I will not. I could see they are uncomfortable. So in the evening, this happened in the around noon time. So in the evening, I called up my friend. He was a pilot in Indian Airlines. Devinder Gare, he was a Rajput and very well built, 6 foot, 6 feet 2 inch height and a well built body. So his cousin was in the BSF commandos. They were posted in Delhi. So I called him. I said, you bring your cousin's commandos and get me out of here. He said, we are coming. At about when it was dark, around 8 o'clock. So he came in the master car. There were no commandos with him. But another of our friend, uh, Captain Malli, he was a Sikh, but his hairs were cut. Amar Singh Malli. He was also a pilot of Indian Airline. They both came. And so I said, but it is not safe on the road. He said, don't worry, you come with us. You come with us. On the way, they have surveyed the roads, on which road there's less mob. So they had already done the whole survey. So my wife sat on the rear seat, and they made me lie down on the seat, under the seat, and put halter on me to show that there's nobody. And when they were going to Saket, he lived in Saket. When they were going to Saket, on the way, they followed the route where there was very less mob. And wherever they found some mob, he sped up the car and crossed through them. So we reached on second night, we reached at Captain Gary's house. His wife, Vijay, when we reached there, Vijay told us that a house right next to them belonged to a Sikh colonel in the army. He had constructed the house only a few months back, and Vijay always used to praise that they have such a nice cutlery at that home, they have such a nice interiors, furniture. And she was crying. She said, they have not left even a spoon in the house. We were there for that night. Next day, we were there, third, and on fourth also. 2 days we remained there. And even the servants didn't know that we are at home. This was a state affair. On fifth morning, Gary got a job, managed to get the flight to Chandigarh. He got his flight to Chandigarh. In the morning, the Indian Airline car came to pick up the pilot. So he took both of us with him. And when we reached the airport, my God, the scene at the airport. The Sikh families are lying on the floor. Whole airport is full of Sikh families, children. Everybody wanted to go to Chandigarh. Neither they could have gone by road nor by train. On the road, they were being killed. On trains, they were being killed. The only mode was the by air, and there were only 2, 3 flights to Chandigarh, and the airport was full. When we reached the airport, Captain Gary bought the tickets for us. We had no money. He bought the tickets for us, and that girl on the counter said, "We have no seat." He said, "They have to go in this flight." She said, "But sir, we have no seat." He said, "Don't worry, I'll manage." She said, "This is not allowed." He said, "What's happening is allowed." There was a supernumerary captain who was going in that flight. So he tells him that you give up your seat, you come in the cockpit. So he tells that I give up my seat. So that's how he managed to take us, and we were in the cockpit. That is, we both of us cockpit supernumerary seat. We both were sitting there, and later on was the air hostess seat. So he left us at Punjab. Now whole my family and my wife's family also, they were in Punjab. We were the only one who came to Delhi, and that also because of my uncle. Everybody in Punjab. There was a lot of pressure from the family that you come back. Before our marriage, we got married in November 83. Before our marriage, my wife was teaching at Punjab Agricultural University, Ludhiana. She had done PhD from there, and after that, she had done postdoctorate also. And so she was there at Ludhiana University. She left the job after the marriage and got job in Delhi. So we went to Ludhiana to her professor. He agreed that yes, I'll give job to you. So I was looking for to practice, start my practice in Chandigarh or in Ludhiana. So we were in this process. So then we decided that we will shift to Punjab, and this was around I think 20th November or so. We again came back by flight to pick up our luggage and go back to Punjab. Now you see, this is 20th November incident. We got down at the airport, got a taxi, dropped my wife and ran at her office. And I tell the taxi driver to drop me at my uncle's house at Barakhama Road. When we reached at Barakhama Road, the taxi driver demanded me the fare, more than double. What was the fare? So I said, "This is not the fare." On the meter taxi scene, on the meter it was much less. He said, "No, no, I'm not going by that. Give me this much." I said, "This is not the fare." He opened his door, came back, opened my door, put his leg on this and say, "सरदार देता है कि शोर को उनको उग्रवादी है? Are you paying or should I shout कि he is a terrorist? Then what will happen to you? You know it." And this is the Connaught Place area of Delhi. So I had to shell out whatever he wanted. Thereafter, I came to High Court. Then we went to our house in South Section, and we found out that our landlords have packed all our luggage and dumped it in one room, and they said, "Please take your luggage. Your luggage is safe." I say, "But give us some days at least. Who will give us house on rent in this state of air?" They said, "Sorry, we cannot. We have done enough for you. We saved you, and we saved your luggage." I said, "This, thank you so much. This is enough you have done for us." So I came back to my uncle again. So my uncle again gave us a place to stay at his house. So we stayed for a few days at his house. During those days, not even a single, no one was giving any sick house on rent. No one was giving. Some friends of mine in the High Court told me that we will file a petition immediately. We will immediately get an order to restore the possession of your house. I said, no, they have saved our lives and I don't want to file a case against them. I said, no, I will not do it. So, and it took us a long time to find there's a, in Jangpura, there is a colony of six. There are six transporters in Pogal area. So in Pogal area, we found ultimately after a month, 1 month we stayed with my uncle, and after that we found a house. So that was the state of it. In Delhi, can anybody imagine today? Okay, this could be the situation in Delhi.
How is it then, sir, that you came to be involved in the legal cases arising in the aftermath of the 84 violence?
You see, there was a lot of anger inside. How could it happen to us in our own country? There was a lot of anger inside. One day in the High Court, some lawyers told me that the lawyers are needed at the relief camp. I said, tell me where to go. They said, you go to the Supreme Court, senior advocate Hardev Singh. So he is assigning the duties of the lawyers to go to Supreme Court. Hardev Singh was a well-known, very renowned senior advocate in Supreme Court. And so I went to Hardev Singh chamber. Hardev Singh sent me to the Farsh Bazaar relief camp. Farsh Bazaar relief camp in the Transjamna. That is close to Trilokpuri area, where 406 were killed in two blocks, block 30 and 32. No male member was left. All were assassinated. When I reached in the camp, there were only children and women. That was the state of affairs. It was very bad state of affairs. And that camp was being looked after by the volunteers of Nagarik Ekta Manch. In the other episode, I told you that this Nagarik Ekta Manch was formed by some professors, journalists, and civil activists. I mean, first they tried to stop the violence. When they found they are not able to do that, so on 2nd November night, they formed this group to at least give relief to the victims. So the relief camp was being looked after by them, and they told me that we need the lawyers to come over here. We need to fill up their statements, file their complaints, say, and there's a desperate need for a lawyer. So I told them that I will come. So the same evening when I came home, so I told my wife, when God has been kind to us, we have not lost anything, but they are the one who lost everything. Family members, houses, goods, everything they have lost. And they are here and we are going. I say, I feel that if we leave now, maybe whole life we will repent that where we were needed the most, we ran away. So she said, okay, stay here, do this work in the relief camps. So we said, okay, we'll let it be this month. This work will be over in 5-6 months. So we will leave after 6 months, or we will leave after a year. But our decision to go back was final. So we said put off by 6 months or a year maximum. That is how I started going to relief camp. Then in the first week of December, one lawyer, he was a government counsel. He told me that there is one old man, he victim of 1984, and he wants to file a case. He said, I've told him about you since you are going to relief camps and I being a government lawyer can't do it. You please do it for him. I said, okay, tell me. So I met, that old man met me. He had come from Rajasthan. His daughter's family, they lived in Nandnagari in East Delhi area. His son-in-law Sahab Singh, he was also from Rajasthan. He had shifted to Delhi and worked very hard in his life. And he had his own factory in Anand Parbat area. He made his own house in Nandnagari. And he had motorcycle, fridge, TV. Mind it, this was a luxury. It's not, don't think today's area. In 84, having a motorcycle, having a TV, having a fridge was a luxury. So he had everything at home. And he was also a Congress worker. And all congressmen of his area knew him very well. And they used to respect him, Sardarji, Sardarji. On 1st November, early in the morning, they were leaving their house. Some Congress workers of the area came. He said, "Aap to humse hain. You are from among us. You need not to be scared. You don't leave. We are here to save you." After about 2-3 hours, around noon time on 1st November, the same very people led the mob to his house. They killed Sahib Singh. His wife came running and lied down on Sahib Singh. Both of them, they hit them and burnt them alive. Sahib Singh's brother was in army, was on leave, and there they killed that army man. Sahib Singh's eldest son was 16 years old. Sahib Singh's daughter Satpal Kaur, she tells her brother, "You run, run, run." And they both jumped from backside of the house. And she wanted to save him. She made him run. She was after, they both ran and reached the police chowki. And they entered the police chowki. The policeman said, "Go out." The policeman threw them outside the police chowki, right outside the police chowki. The mob killed him. They badly beaten Satpal Kaur. Satpal Kaur became unconscious and they killed her brother. Satpal was just 13 years old at that time. She had 3 younger sisters. Their children were roaming around in the streets, crying. The youngest was 3 years old, Sonia. They were roaming around on the streets. Some neighbors, some people picked them up and sent them to the relief camp. Ultimately, after a long time, by the end of November, all the 4 sisters, they were sent to Nari Niketan, since there was no one in the family. In the first week of December, their Nana, Lap Singh was the name. Lap Singh came from Rajasthan. He wanted to take them. He goes to Nari Niketan and Nari Niketan tells him, "Bring a court order." So he said, "I have no money. How can I engage the lawyer?" So he came to me. So I filed a case. I filed habeas corpus petition because I knew otherwise for custody case it will take a long time. So I filed habeas corpus. That was the first case which I filed of 84 in court. That matter came up before Chief Justice, Justice Prakash Naran, and Justice B.N. Karpal. Justice B.N. Karpal, who later on became the Chief Justice of India, and he is the same judge, Justice B.N. Karpal, in the other episode I told you, who quashed the Jan Banerjee committee later on. But both the judges called me to chamber. And they say that these children, there are various relatives who are claiming them. Their father has properties, and they say we are deputing a judge, when the secretary of the legal aid authority, they directed him to collect all the information about the property. So R.L. Gupta was the secretary at time. Later on, he became the judge of High Court, Justice R.L. Gupta. He brought all the information about the properties of Sahib Singh, their father. They say, we want, the Justice Prakashan told me that I want the custody should remain, all the property should remain in the custody of the court, and we are prepared to give the custody of the children to Nana. I say, please do that. So they gave the custody of the children to their Nana, and all the properties remained in the custody of the court. Now, these children later on went to Rajasthan, then they came to Delhi, and the youngest one, the 3-year-old, she had done graduation. Now she is working with Kailash Satyarthi, the Nobel laureate. She is working with his organization. So these children. And now I tell you something very interesting. Compensation which was given, that compensation also the court ordered that this should be kept in a FD in the name of the registrar of the High Court. So the compensation that time 20,000 compensation for each person killed. So the father, mother, and brother. For 3% the compensation was given to them, and the FD was made in the name of the registrar and kept with the registrar. In 1996, Justice Anil Dev Singh passed a judgment and enhanced its compensation to 3,50,000. Now, when this compensation was enhanced, so I asked Satpal Kaur, where you go and follow up. So Satpal said that earlier also it is in the High Court. Let it the High Court take it. Let it lie down in the High Court. But I said you at least follow up and to go and check and see that this compensation should reach High Court. She goes and finds out from the relief commissioner, and she was told that the compensation has already been paid. Already been paid. They are already there. High Court order on the file that the custody is with the High Court and the compensation is paid. I filed a petition. This came up before Justice Usha Mehra. So I tell Usha Mehra, please call for the record. She called for the record. The compensation of 10 lakhs is paid to Satpal Singh. Satpal Singh. When to see this is the level of corruption going on. She immediately directed that an inquiry should be conducted. The person who has done it, he should be punished. But I say, but at least they should be paid the compensation. And she directed us to pay the compensation. So this was the state of affairs, what was happening here. There's one case, one Mahinder Kaur. She on 31st night, she was going with her husband from Amritsar to Bombay. Her husband was working in Bombay. She had a daughter of 2 months in her lap. The train reached at Shadra railway station in the first morning. It was stopped here. The train stopped here, the train was not moving for further. After some time, the mob came looking for the six. They saw Mahinder Kaur's husband. They took him out and beaten him very badly, taken him dead. The mob goes away. Some passengers they realize that he is still alive. They bring him inside, put him under the seats so that he is not seen. They thought they will go and admit him in the hospital. After some time, another mob comes to set on fire these bodies which they have killed. And they say, there was a body over here. Where is the body has gone? They started searching the compartment and they found him under the seat. They took him out and burnt him. Now this Mahinder Kaur didn't know anybody for the first time. She has come out of the village. She belonged to a village, Khadur Sahib in Punjab. The passengers with her tells that you don't get out now. You are not safe. Your child is not safe. You come with us. They took him to Bombay. They kept her at their home. They wrote a letter to her village, to her brother. After 2 months, her brother went and brought her back. Now, no record, no compensation, nothing. Now, when this compensation was given by Justice Anil Singh, that time that there is a saint in Khadur Sahib, Sant Baba Seva Singh ji. So he knows me well. She was working with him. That Babaji was looking after the child and also this widow, Binder Kaur. So he sent her to me that please see that she should get compensation. We applied for the compensation. The divisional commissioner, we produced before the divisional commissioner, I had filed a writ in the High Court that all these cases of compensation which are rejected, they should need not to come to the High Court, kindly provide the appellate authority. So the appellate authority was, divisional commissioner was appointed as the appellate authority. So the divisional commissioner, my junior, went and produced her before divisional commissioner. The divisional commissioner said that this is a very genuine case, but I need some document to show that he died in 84 and died in the day. He said there is no document. Now there are many cases like this. They went to their village, they were there. He said there is no document. Ultimately, after a lot of search, we found that the village Chowkidar had recorded in the death register that he died uh, in uh, in November in Delhi. So we brought that document, gave it to him. After this compensation was granted and allowed. And when I wrote my book in 2007, and my book released in Chandigarh, this story of Minder Kaur is part of my book. This book, When a Tree Shook Delhi, that's the name of the book. This is part of that book. And when we released that book in Chandigarh, that time Mahendra Kaur's that daughter, who was 2 months at that time, Mahendra Kaur married her from this compensation which she got. That time that Kulveer Kaur's daughter was of 2 months. And with her daughter in the lap, she released my book. So there are many horrifying stories like this. Many horrifying. And I tell you one thing. Most of the people in my team, they used to get so upset reading these stories, so emotional. But while working it didn't affect me. It didn't affect me. I say if I go into it, become so emotional, then how can I handle their cases? How can I do the work? I was not affected by this. Rather, this used to infuse more energy in me that we need to work more strongly. Okay, I was telling you this. After this Satpal Kaur case, then I used to help any case which comes up in the High Court. The topmost lawyers of the country used to represent the victims. Govinda Mukhote, Senior Advocate Supreme Court, PUDR filed a petition. Then Rahul Bedi filed a petition, Hardev Singh, the senior advocate. So they used to represent the victims totally free of charges. But the government was so powerful. They managed the things in such a way that no relief is given. If a matter comes before a judge which is prepared to give relief, the case is transferred. Justice Sachar wanted to give some relief. A matter comes up before Justice Sachar that the relief camps are being closed by the government forcibly. These people have no place to go. Their houses are burnt. Justice Sachar immediately passed the order. Till a proper alternative arrangements are made, relief camps will not be closed. The next petition of PUDR comes before Justice Sachar that a commissioner of inquiry should be appointed. The government changed the roster. Change the roster and put up this case before somebody else. So this is the kind of things were happening. But I was just helping this these senior advocates. I was very junior at that stage. I had only about 3.5 years experience, and their juniors were much more experienced than me. So slowly, when the Mishra Commission was appointed in May 1985, then it was my suggestion that we should all form a body together. We should all come, all human rights groups should come under one platform. So the Citizen Justice Committee was formed at that time. Justice Sekri became the president, the Satar Kunde, Soli Srabji, PUCL president, PUD, everybody came together, and I was made the secretary of this. So when I was made the secretary, so that the whole work came on me. So then 1 year during the proceeding of Mishra Commission, I couldn't even handle any case. So I was whole time into it from 7 o'clock in the morning till 11 o'clock. We used to work in the office. But anyhow, I learned a lot, not only from these cases, but also from these senior advocates. The main thing which I adopted from them, all of them were doing it pro bono. Soli Sarabji, Tarkunde, Shoesh Malik, Govinda Forte, everybody was doing it pro bono. They were established lawyers. They will do their private practice, earn from there what these cases they have done pro bono. From there, I also adopted this, that I should do these cases pro bono. Fortunately, my wife had a good job. Then later on, my wife became general manager with the modern food industry. Modern food industry was the biggest food industry of the country at that time. And they had 22 factories throughout country. And my wife being a technical person, she was the general manager technical and then senior general manager R&D. She was in charge of quality control of all those 22 factories. So she had a good salary. Company had given us house. Company had given us telephone. So that's how I could afford to do these cases pro bono. One thing I tell you, interesting. This is in 1990. My wife got a scholarship from a US body, and she had gone for studies for postdoctorate to America. She went to the American Institute of Baking. That's the premier institute of baking in Manhattan, in Kansas State. It's not the New York Manhattan. It's in the Kansas State Manhattan University. That's a university town. So she topped in that course. So she was offered jobs. Uh, there are two jobs she was offered with very good salary during those days, and so they were also giving work permit and of course will help in immigration. So this was around 1990, mid of 1990. So she asked us that what should we do. That time the VP Singh government had come. VP Singh government had just started the work. Koti Rosha committee had recommended registration of cases against Sajjan Kumar. And so I told her that now the new phase have started. Now in this new phase, I should at least, for 1 year I should not at least leave Delhi. 1 year I should must spend here, that now we are hopeful something would be done in these cases. And so she say, I will remain in USA, you will remain in Delhi. What is the need? Why we need it with USA? So she left those jobs and came back to India. So that is, after that, in almost in every case, I was involved into it. Then I tell you this, yesterday, only yesterday, there was a program, a function held by Sikh Forum, and there was two panelists. One was a Sikh bureaucrat. He retired as a IAS officer. The other panelist was Colin Gonsalves, the senior advocate, a human rights expert in India. That Sikh bureaucrat said that the Sikh community should achieve excellence. They should become IAS officer, IPS officer, top bureaucrats. He says, look at Ajay Pal Singh Banga. He is the head of the World Bank. I mean, that's like the Sikh community should concentrate on achieving excellence like him. Colin Gonsalves said, he said, I have seen, he said, this is the excellence versus resistance. He said, I have seen Sikh community fighting for justice not only for themselves, they have been fighting for injustice against other communities also. So excellence is there, but at the same time, we know Sikh community as that they are the leaders of resistance fighting against injustice. So very well said, very well said. So that is the time I also realized in the past about my experiences. This, you see, preferring resistance over excellence. There are some people who want to adopt the path of excellence. There are some who prefer to follow the path of resistance and to follow the path of justice. This happened in my life also. In 2000, I got a call from a Akali leader, Manjeet Singh GK, very prominent Akali leader and Gurdwara committee president he has been. He say, congratulations, I have just met the Union Law Minister, Arun Jaitley was Law Minister at that time. And he told us that you are being made a judge. I immediately discussed with my wife, and I am so grateful to her and to God that she totally over the path of excellence. She advised me to follow the path of resistance. Next day, I called up Jaitley. I went to Jaitley and I tell him, sir, so thank you so much for thinking about me, but I cannot take it up. He said, why? I said, the Nanavati Commission has been constituted, is going on. 84 cases we have got it reopened. I said, will somebody do it? He said, no one will do it. I said, then how fair it is on my part? How fair it is on my part to leave this work where I am the only one doing it. And there is a huge line of thousands who are sitting to become the judge. Make them the judge, let me do it. So he said, I salute you. Anyhow, I remember that time. Path of excellence and path of resistance. So I'm not saying it is sacrificed nothing. It is the path which you choose. So I'm so happy, I'm so glad. And the similar circumstances I got, I tell you. I joined politics recently in 2015, 16, 17. I joined politics. I was elected MLA in Punjab. I became the leader of opposition with the status of minister. And everybody was saying that time that I am the future chief minister because the people of Punjab liked me because of this work. Otherwise, what have I done other than this? They they really not only liked, they were following me. There were big crowds wherever I go. They used to respect so much. So I say all this is because of this work. And then a time comes when the Sajjan Kumar case comes up for hearing in 2017 for final hearing. The appeal against Sajjan Kumar. I applied to the Bar Council that allow me to uh, appear in one case pro bono, because since I had a minister status, I couldn't have appeared. Uh, I couldn't have practiced. Unfortunately, Bar Council declined. He said, no, you have a minister status, you can't. So at that, this was again the time, whether to follow the path of excellence or to follow the path of resistance. Path of excellence, maybe at least if not the chief minister, I would have been minister in Punjab today. But the follow of the resistance is the justice. So that again, my wife supported me fully. He said 84 work nobody can do without you. And so I'm a strong believer in God, let me tell you. I always took it that this responsibility is given to me by God. Or I should put it, this opportunity is given to by God. So I resigned from my post and I pursued the Sajjan Kumar case. And you see, what this Delhi media is so nice of them that they are so fond of me because they have seen. All these reporters who are at the top positions today, they were young reporters covering the courts when they have seen me. And throughout, they have not only seen me, they have seen my working, they have tested and tried me also. They also know, because not only 84 cases, maximum number of child rights, the victims of sexual abuse, the victims of child trafficking, I have done those cases. And this I did it along with the Kailash Satyarthi, who is a Nobel laureate. I think in India, maximum number of those cases is done by me. Those also I did pro bono. So my activity, the national media watches. When I became the leader of opposition, it was the front page news everywhere. Otherwise, who bothers? A leader of opposition of a state, a minister of a state, who bothers? Nobody bothers. When I resigned, hmm, uh, when I resigned, all papers of the national newspaper, Phoolka quote the leader of opposition, and this, I want to represent victims of 1984 anti-Sikh riots. Every newspaper covered it. Phoolka quotes leader of opposition minister status because he want to conduct these cases, concentrate on these cases. Now, this one step brought back the 84 issue, justice to the right victims, back in focus. Back in focus. I mean, it made an effect on the judiciary also. And after that, in one of the hearings, even the Chief Justice said that the community is still feeling hurt. I told you in another episode, the Chief Justice of Delhi High Court said, nation is still bleeding. So, as a result of that, a new era started in these cases. We Supreme Court appointed SIT. I will tell you in detail. After that, one person is awarded a sentence. Justice Mulizar gave the judgment of conviction Sajjan Kumar and Sajjan Kumar in jail. I'm not saying it is because of my resignation. No, but I am happy. I am glad that I followed this path. And Sajjan Kumar is still today in jail. For me, Sajjan Kumar in jail is more important than any post. Now, people in Punjab are still very much annoyed with me. They say you have left us. Even one of some prominent Sikhs also said you shouldn't have left politics. I say it is not acceptable to me that I am a minister in Punjab and Sajjan Kumar is a member of parliament here. Not. I will not do that. So I am very happy and I am glad that I am following this path. And these culprits, Sajjan Kumar and others, at least some of them are in jail today.
Thank you so much, Phoolka sir, for your time and for recounting so painstakingly your entire personal journey through the 84 violence and till today. Thank you so much for joining us for today's episode, and we hope you'll join us for the next one.